Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Dryer Lint Busters. For just $99 and in less than an hour, Dryer Lint Busters can clean the vents that lead from your dryer to the outside of your home or business. Once they do that, you're going to see the temperature of your dryer rise, you'll see the airflow increase, and you'll see your electricity bill drop. DryerLintBusters.com to learn more. It's a once-a-year service to get your dryer running like new. And if you are an industry that has multiple dryers in your building, whether that's a hair salon, an apartment complex, hospital, you name it, if you got multiple dryers, they can save you a lot of money. And you need to do this anyway because it's a fire hazard. You need to do it once a year. But I know you're not going to worry about the fire hazard. You're going to worry about the dollars. They can save you money on your electric bill. DryerLintBusters.com. Okay, The Athletic took a look at money spent this week between 2010 and 2019 by all the major football programs, and they divided those dollars by actual wins. So that's taking into account, well, basically everything you spend at a university. That would be anything from your recruiting travel budget to buyouts for coaches, which impacted several schools. But let's look at cost per win, the 10 worst, if you will, in the nation, and the numbers are all here in millions. Kansas, who never wins much at all, spent $8.96 million per victory over that decade. So I'm trying to think, Charlie Weiss would have been in there. Les Miles, let's see. Yeah, he would have been there for a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So, terrible.
Came in, then he had some lawsuits. So
you had some lawsuits, that's right. So, and speaking of Les Miles, under Kansas, you'd have Arkansas. Then that's worst in the SEC. Rutgers, Texas. Now they invest a lot. I would expect them to throw a lot of money, but they haven't gotten the returns they want. Then you get Auburn and Tennessee. And Vanderbilt. Tennessee, you got to love being on a list with Vanderbilt. Wow. You're actually spending more per victory than Vanderbilt is, and then you got Ole Miss. So let me show you the SEC list only, though. Here you go. Now, again, this is the decade 2010 to 2019. Alabama spends a lot, but they get a lot back. And then you look at it and you say, well, Missouri and Mississippi State, they're very value conscious. You know, they don't invest anything. They don't get a lot of wins, but they don't invest anything.
Mississippi State, that's impressive in a decade where Dan Mullen was pretty successful.
That's a good point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thoughts on? I mean, it's hard to take one view out of all this thing because you can look at it from different schools. If you're Alabama and you're spending $4 million a win, that's different than Tennessee spending $4 million a win. Because they're getting a lot more for it.
Yeah, no, to your point, absolutely. That's what I thought of when I see the list.
Important wins.
For some, like Auburn and Tennessee, that list tells me they spent a whole bunch of money on buyouts and things like that and didn't get enough return. When you look at Vanderbilt, that's a school that doesn't have the facilities, doesn't put in the money. That just underscores how few the wins they've gotten back for it. So, yeah, each of them has sort of a different definition or reason for it.
Texas A&M low on that list, which is surprising.
Yeah, LSU.
Georgia has been a bargain for another program that has won for a long time.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, a big stadium renovation in the past decade.
Spend a lot of money, yeah. And they're giving Jimbo Fisher a huge contract.
Yep.
So all of that interesting. I think if you're Tennessee, though, you'd rather be lower on that list considering where your wins have actually been.
To me, that shows you how good of an investment it can be to hire the right coach for big money because some of those teams on that list are still fairly low despite having really highly paid coaches. Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, obviously, top of that list.
Yeah, and the other thing that doesn't show for a place like Alabama or Georgia now, when you're winning national champions or competing for national championships, you see these numbers every year. Your people applying to enroll to your school goes up. It's like the little school that nobody ever heard of that always makes a Final Four, and it's like, wow, suddenly enrollment at George Mason went up 500% because nobody had heard of it before their Final Four run. So you're getting money back, not just in donations to your school, but you're getting money back by you can raise tuition. You got more people wanting to come in here. So there's a lot of return on investment other than just wins that Alabama gets from a Nick Saban just by investing in him.
Yep.
I think stability is another factor in that. Tennessee did not have that.
Yeah, the turnover.
Turnover, whereas the Alabamas and Georgias, they've really stabilized things. You don't have to go through all those extra expenses either.
Recruiting to me definitely part of that. Those teams that are able to stay in state and in their region saved a lot of money. Tennessee recruits nationally; they're high on that list.
Well, Georgia and Texas A&M may have been, although Texas was a lot higher than Texas A&M. Okay. Thanks to all these guys. Appreciate you for coming in here on a Sunday. Next week, it's going to be the first of our 20th anniversary shows. We're going to look back at the last 20 years worth of UT stories. That is next Sunday, right back here on the Sports Source. See you then. See you there.